Welcome to the Center for Student Learning Study Skills Workshop Succeed at CofC. My name is Melissa Hortman and I am the Study Skills Coordinator in the Center for Student Learning, and I will be speaking today for this presentation. In this presentation we will discuss how to be successful in college, and particularly at the College of Charleston. It is important to start out with a strong foundation of skills and knowledge, so when you are experiencing challenging times in college, you are able to persevere. In this workshop, we will discuss 3 topics, beginning with successful studying habits, then focusing on your learning style and how to use it to your advantage in the classroom and as you study, and finally end with some useful resources around campus. I want to start out with a question that you may not always think about as you transition into your college life. What were your studying habits like before CofC? High school and college are very different learning environments. High school is a teaching-based environment where you are given the information you need to learn, as well as connecting all the information for you, while college is a learning-based environment where the professor will give you information, and you are expected to draw the connections between all of the information on your own. This shift in learning environment puts a lot more responsibility for learning on you, the student. This in turn causes you to take a lot more personal responsibility for your own learning. Self-regulation, to be sure you are connecting the information outside of class, as well as a lot more time invested in studying material outside of the classroom. Although certain study skills may have worked for you in the past, whether at your high school or previous college, it may need to be enhanced as you are finding your foundation for being successful at the college. As we investigate ways to enhance your study skills to be effective, it is important to remember the type of environment you are in now, a learning environment. With that type of environment, a lot more time must be invested on a daily and weekly basis. The time you are putting into classes on a daily basis is mostly preparing for your classes, which can be anything from reviewing your notes, doing your assigned readings for class, finishing homework due for class, and preparing for the next class. This daily schedule should become habitual as you transition into your classes and get used to the schedule. A bulk of your work should be done on a weekly basis. There's a lot that needs to be done to assess and be sure you understand all of the topics covered in your classes from that week. This should be when you are synthesizing notes and turning them into study materials, beginning and completing assignments due for class, visiting the CSL walk-in tutoring labs to get assistance from peer tutors, and have your study skills appointment to keep up with enhancing your skills. Although these seem like small tasks, they are tasks that will take a lot of time since you have to draw those connections on your own. Finally, ideally students should be spending about 20% of the time studying before exams. This should be when you review your study materials and take practice tests. This is not a time to be learning new information since it is so close to the time of the exam. Cramming is proven to be inefficient for remembering information for an extended period of time, and since you normally have cumulative finals at the end of the semester, it is best to learn information along the way to be sure you don't have to relearn that information later. This pyramid is the ideal study habits of students in college. However, your pyramid may not look like this at this time, and that's okay. This is something to challenge yourself to strive for as you enhance your study skills throughout your college career. So what is the secret to success? Is there a secret to success? There's no single answer to this question. A lot of finding success is finding your own path and what works for you. There are a lot of ideas of what success looks like, but it is different for each person. Just like the image at the bottom, finding success is not a straight path. It is more like the second picture where you have to move around and try different approaches while moving forward and back to truly find success. When you are finding your success, remember this image. You may be moving forward or backwards when facing challenges, but you will always find success if that is your end goal. Finding what study skills works for you is part of the process of being successful. We will go over the CSL's top 5 study skills: study power hour, reviewing your notes within 24 hours of class, making a study schedule, using your learning style to your advantage, and knowing your resources. The study power hour is one of the most effective ways to study within a time limit and cover a lot of information efficiently. This study skill can be applied to almost any subject and assignment needing to be completed. Be sure to give yourself a goal to complete within this hour time. Whether it is writing a paragraph for your paper, read a section within your textbook, or finish so many math problems. Once you have this goal, you will begin with the first 5 minutes of the hour skimming over the section you're about to study, gathering keywords, writing in your cues and questions, and gaining knowledge to use as previous knowledge so you can later draw connections to it. The next 40 minutes is hard studying time. If you are studying hard for more than 40 minutes, your retention of information drops drastically. So 40 minutes is a doable amount of time to get a good amount of work done. The next 10 minutes is yours to take a break. Do something that is not academic-like. Check Facebook, go for a walk, stretch, get a snack and drink, or just close your eyes. After that, come back for the last 5 minutes of the hour and review what you just went over for the past hour. This will give you a good time to see if you really understood what you just learned or if you need to cover it again. This power hour can help you to achieve very specific study goals in a short amount of time than it may take if you just sat down and did it without a goal or plan in mind. The next study skill is to review your notes within 24 hours of taking them in class or from your reading. If you don't review your notes within 24 hours, you lose over 80% of the newly learned information that you covered in your notes. This almost puts you back at a blank slate for the next time you go to class. By doing this, it can reduce time learning new information before the exam. This is a very easy skill you can begin doing right now. It takes maybe 5 minutes for each class, which you can do right after class is dismissed or every night before you go to bed. The next study skill is to make a study schedule. If you don't schedule in studying time, you tend to complete work when you can get it in, which can lead to procrastination. When you schedule in study time, you are more likely to achieve your goals for the day and not have to stay up late to complete work. The last 2 study skills are using your learning style to your advantage and knowing your resources, which we will cover next in this presentation. Do you know your learning style? A short questionnaire can be obtained from the CSL, which can help you figure out your learning style. VARK stands for Visual, Auditory, Read-Write, and Kinesthetic, which are all types of learning styles. These learning styles are not meant to put you in a box and tell you what you can or can't do. They are meant to help you find study tips that work uniquely for you. It is easy to say that your learning style just doesn't work with your professor's classroom style. However, all learning styles can be adapted to be effective in all classrooms. This is a time to get creative with your learning style to get the most out of your experience within the classroom. For example, it is hard for a kinesthetic learner to sit through a long lecture course. So when going to these types of classes, bring a stress ball to satisfy your need to move and pay attention. When it is really hard for you to learn the material in class because of how it's presented, remember you always have time outside of class to study and learn the information in a way that works for you. Play to your strengths of remembering new information, whether it is in the classroom or when you are studying. Adaptation to your environment is a crucial piece to being successful in the vast amount of classes you will take here at CofC. Here are some quick tips for visual learners. Visual learners need that color, image, and visual stimulation to remember information. Try using outlines and flashcards where you can highlight in different colors and annotate with a system you can create. Just remember you do not need to take conventional notes. Maybe draw out information using graphic organizers to better learn and remember. Auditory learners need to hear the information to learn it, whether it is through listening to the lecture, listening to the reading, or discussing information in study groups. Be sure you are finding a way to listen to everything to understand and retain new information. Use the Kick Scanner in the Addlestone Library to scan and email yourself a textbook or article and turn it into an audio file where the book is read to you. This may help you when you're in text-heavy courses. Read and write learners need to take a lot of notes in general. Rewriting information can help as well. But be sure when you are doing this, you are synthesizing information and writing it in a new way and in your own words. Always explain and write out visuals to help you remember information. This would be good if a read and write learner was in an art history course and needed to learn photos for an exam. Kinesthetic learners need to be active with material to learn it. Try group study sessions to have moving discussions or multiple short study sessions to keep yourself sharp and interested in the material. Allow yourself to move while studying, like walking while reading or using flashcards on the go. Resources are all around you. They are in place to support you as you go through CofC. When you do have questions, go to your professors or staff members around campus to see where you need to go to get the help you need. Don't ever wait until it's too late. Where can I go to get a transcript on campus? You can get a transcript from the registrar's office. Why would you need a transcript? Transcripts show your progress, such as when you want to transfer classes that you may take at a community college, go to graduate school, or for specific job positions. The registrar's office is located on the second floor of Lightsey off of Calhoun Street. Where would you go to find assistance with locating jobs on campus or in Charleston? The Career Center is a great place that has many different facets besides just finding out if there are any jobs on or off campus. They also have workshops to help you find your strengths so you can be sure you are in the right major or area of interest. The Career Center is located on the second floor of Lightsey, right next to the registrar's office. Go meet with a career counselor today to update your resume and be sure you are ready for a job. Where can you go if you have questions about major, minor, or general education requirements? The Academic Advising and Planning Center is where you can meet with an advisor when you have any questions pertaining to adding or dropping classes, requirements for a major, changing your major, or general education requirements. Make sure to have an appointment with an advisor to save time, which you can make right on their webpage. The Academic Advising and Planning Center is located on the second floor of Lightsey along with the registrars and Career Center. Always know who your advisor is and keep in contact with them throughout the semester. They are a lot of help when you need them. Where can you find information about student organizations or leadership opportunities? The Stern Center houses a lot of student clubs and organizations. If you can't find what you're looking for there, you can go to the Higdon Leadership Center, which has a lot of opportunities for students to be involved all over campus. There's a lot going on around campus, and you can find your niche if you look closely in these two places. The Stern Center is off of George Street, and the Higdon Leadership Center is behind the Addlestone Library on Cummings Street. Both places have a lot of students and staff who are available to talk anytime about how to get involved. If you are having trouble keeping up with your courses and you think you may have a learning disability, where can you go for help? The Center for Disability Services is a welcoming place on campus where you can go to get help if you think you have a learning disability. They can help you find the assistance you need if this is the case, or how to work with your disability as you go through challenging courses in college. Visit the Center for Disability Services on the first floor of Lightsey to set up an appointment with someone to talk about what's going on. This concludes the Succeed at CofC workshop. If you have any further questions about this workshop or the content, please come to or contact the Center for Student Learning at 843-953-5635. We are located on the first floor of the Addlestone Library off of Calhoun Street and are also mobile at csl.cfc.edu. Please take a look at our other videos available for other topics and online library of handouts as a resource. We hope to see you soon in the CSL.